Hey guys, I'm so glad that you guys are patient. It's been a day for me today. I hope y'all can hear me. Hey darling,
Good
it's
evening. How
Queen
you doing, my
Libra,
boo? Hey, Reginald.
Stephon, Amaya, you guys. Hey,
This is a mess.
go
But a
ahead and
good,
get
but a good
started.
mess.
I'm gonna pop out for a minute early, but y'all go ahead and get the conversation started. Anybody else that comes in after this, y'all gonna have to give me 5, but I'll be right back.
All right.
Well,
Okay, we'll
hello,
keep it. We'll
Sam.
keep it running, hon.
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
hon.
How's everybody?
Hey,
All
Sam,
right.
Can, Maya, and Queen Libra. Let's get this popping. Cause do we have stuff to talk about?
Yes,
A
child.
Oh,
I
whole lot
cannot
to
get
talk about.
over the fact that we
yes,
had extras today at the restaurant scene.
yes,
I
we
counted
did.
4 extras.
So did
Now
I.
that's
Yeah,
damn news.
I don't, and usually they don't bother.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
I don't know if that be makeup people are like glorified extras for real, but one, the House of Lee has been revived because as I said on Twitter, it turns out that Drinks the Day After was right and Amaya and Bubbles were on the money.
Sure was. Because I remember when Amaya first floated that, I looked at her so sideways, and of course I can't even see her. I looked at her so sideways,
Like,
and
girl,
I
where you
think I
coming up
read.
with this?
I think I read up and down to why that wasn't gonna happen, and I'd be damned.
Well, one, I will say that it aside from the fact of the general satisfaction of being right, because I will say this much, we may not be right about everything, but our average is damn good.
Uh huh.
That it's a positive thing for more than just the fact that we like the character of Lee and we would hate to see her or Naomi go anywhere. Okay.
Correct.
Oh wait, Reginald said Liz Cheney sitting in the chairman seat. The chairman got COVID. That's why. Hold on. Let me flip on the hearing while I'm talking to y'all. But yeah, she in the chairman seat because the chairman of the sixth January 6th committee has COVID. So I guess if they're gonna have anybody running the show, it's gonna be her tonight. So it's good for more than just the obvious reason of we are happy Lee is alive. What that means is that, and it's also part of the reason that things are getting a little bit petty on soap Twitter. Is here's the thing: deep in the hearts of people who ship the character of Steffy but don't care for Sin, which is fine because nobody likes every character's parent. Okay, you got some people who like Seam, you got some people who like Still, you got people who like Sin. Everybody ain't gonna like the same thing. But the thing is, and this is the honest to God truth, Sin is fighting against death and Sheila Carter to get back to Steffi and his family. That is what he is doing right now.
That's
Steffi
what's
has
being showed on screen.
exactly. Steffi has been plagued her entire adult female character life with men who couldn't be bothered to walk across the damn street for her.
Yep.
And now she got a man who willing not only to go above and beyond, he is willing to do it all to be back with her. The problem with a man like that is that means one, this is a
He's
grand,
irreplaceable.
pretty much. He's irreplaceable, but also it means that this is a grand romance. This is not a flash in the pan. This is not a marriage or a relationship that is going to dissolve relatively quickly. Will it and could it end someday? Obviously so, because this is a soap. That is what soaps do. Even the greatest love stories have an ending to them. But what it means is this ain't no flash in the pan where it's just gonna be pop, poop, dupe, and it's done, and you're not even gonna know what happened. And that irritates people. It even irritates them even more that they're allowing Finn's mother to be alive because that gives him an anchor to the canvas because he has both his parents alive and they don't appear to be going anywhere.
And plus, he has a third, which crazy Sheila Carter, that we know she ain't going nowhere. She always gonna live.
Exactly. So the truth of the matter is, some people would have preferred for Finn to be a flash in the pan. That they had him, brought him on for like 9+ months, killed them all, and then dropped Steffi back in hell with Liam because The truth of the matter is, whether you ship steam or still, doesn't matter what your preference is. No matter how you look at the story, Bill could snatch Steffi from Liam, but who could snatch Steffi from Finn after all of this shit?
Nobody.
Not easy. No, if they did it, it'd be a damn hard job. But snatching a
It's
woman from Liam,
impossible.
exactly.
Finn
But
came back from death for Steffi.
exactly. So Stephanie, so that's what I mean. Liam is worthless on the face and his in turn inside and outside. So snatching a female from him is like taking candy from a baby. It don't require no skill at all. But trying to get a woman away from a man like Finn, who done all of this and gone through all of this, and who is the one thing on this show that is so rare, he is emotionally faithful. That commodity is so rare on Bold and the Beautiful, it is not even funny. You don't have characters who are emotionally faithful to one particular love. They got like two or three loves in their past, and I'm always gonna love this one. I'm always gonna love that one. Finn, because he is still new, does not have that baggage, and that makes him a stronger character and also a stronger love interest. So yeah, Sin could be coming to an end. Maybe this time next year, maybe this time 2, 3 years from now. I don't know. But the point is that they are the story, not
Right
Steffi.
now they are together.
Right.
Ain't no what's gonna happen in the future.
You know what I
You
won't?
know what I'm saying?
I won't darling to repeat that last part.
What, that they are the story?
They are the damn story. And
Yeah.
that's the fact of the
Yeah.
matter. Because
And
no
there,
matter, like you said, if a breakup comes along down the road, the fight for and the root for is the couple
Even
that
if
is
it
true
is,
love, the ones that did fight death to be together. That's the root
this
for it.
story still ain't gonna go away, even if it do happen down the line, like Darwin said, because everybody is already talking about it before they got a reunion out of it. I'm gonna need them to know it still ain't gonna go away, y'all.
exactly.
Right.
So
That connection, the cosmic connection isn't going anywhere.
no, it's not. It means that if they break up or when they break up, because like I said, this is a soap, and I accept that that's part of the long term journey. That it's not going to just be some flash in the pan that you forget about yet, like 2 days later. And Amaya, to answer your question, this is the part of it is this. Is first of all, a part of this is Belle Danfo, okay? Because while the summer previews have been truthful, because I said it earlier, we are 6 out of 9. No, no, no. As of today, we are now 7 out of 9. Out of the 9 things that they said in the summer previews, 7 of them have come to fruition now that Bill has seen Lee. So that means we just have 2 things left to actually play out for it to be a blackout. The problem
Thomas.
is exact Thomas and Lopes. Spoilers. Those are the only 2 people who haven't gotten what was predicted so far. The problem is this. The thing is, when Bell did that damn interview, he mixed in all this bullshit about Liam and about Bill and about Steffi finding a new love. And that got some people's hopes up because, as you can see, it has not played out like that. Now, I don't know if they changed what their original game plan was or whatever, but the point is that part of it is not playing out. Steffi's new love is her old love. Her husband, she thinks she lost, who she about to find again. So her old love is about to be her new love, the man she married to. So
and
throwing,
like I said, that the story is always going to be the root for Steffi and Finn. It's impossible to root against that couple. Now, I could see if some agenda shippers wouldn't mind Flo going in just to bust them up just because they don't like them. But truly, if anybody is trying to, looking for the romance, there's nothing romantic about shipping against Steffi and Finn. So they can hate it if they want, but these right here are the real deal.
right. And the thing is, I don't have anything against people shipping Steffi with other characters. But my thing is this: don't shoot. My thing is don't shoot the tires out of the car because we're not taking the trip you want to be on. I mean, yeah, I get it. Trust me, I was miserable when Steffi was still mooning over Liam for 2 years. I despised it. It made me sick that she was still in love with that man, so in love with him that picture was on the wall that made me want to burn the whole damn Cliff House down. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's how it is. Now, like I said, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If Bell is not going to write what he says he's going to write, he doesn't need to talk about it when it comes down to giving interviews. Don't give people the hope that they're going to get what they're looking for when you know damn well you're playing in their face. That's mean.
Well, Amaya still seems to think that the Lope story is going to be Beth being sick.
That I think. Well, one thing I will say is that I think Amaya's right, and also because they were very pointed to say that this would be Lope's story and that it wasn't going to be a love triangle.
It would be
So
quite unique.
yeah, it almost damn near unheard of. So this isn't a case of them dropping Thomas. Steffi's completely unavailable, so we don't have to worry about her. But it's not like they're going to be dropping Thomas in the middle of it to give Lope friction. They're going to give
But
them something to do that's actually about them, something they should have been did years ago.
they could, but Thomas could be involved in the story because Thomas things were pretty vague.
Yeah, it just said that he would find the love. It didn't say who, what, where, or how. But uh, you know what?
It could be a doctor
Hold
or a
on,
nurse.
hold on. Wait a minute. Wasn't Dr. Flaviana looking a little cute when she called Taylor?
Yes, and that's the lady. That's the girl that was in the spoilers that we were looking at the other day with Tridge and Brad Bell and
Now,
Tanner. That was her.
now to my
But
knowledge,
somebody thought
Thomas.
it was Amelia.
So now, to my knowledge, Thomas does not go to Monaco. So
Right.
I
So
have
I
to
don't think it's
wonder.
her.
Well,
But
hold
if
on.
Lope,
Here's the thing, though. Is it possible that Dr. Flaviana will take herself from the south of France to LA?
it's possible because also even if it's not her, if Lope's baby is sick and everybody's spending time at the hospital, Thomas's new love could be a doctor or a nurse.
Exactly. So it's very, very possible. So far I'm going. You know me. I'm quick to call Bell on his bullshit, especially when he be lying to the fans. But because he's up to this point, they've kind of sort of stuck to the formula of what they put out in the summer previews.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him some room to actually keep all his promises because he's damn close to it.
Right.
Now what?
I would agree.
Now, so of course, one thing I want to talk about before we get into the nitty gritty of Finn and Sheila in that room, Bill and Wyatt in that restaurant. We need to break that down because that was interesting for like 10 different reasons. And I'm talking about before the end with Lee being seen in the alley. For one thing, the vibe off of Lee, which also tells me that this isn't just going to be a flash in the pan, is Bill is lonely as fuck. He is lonely. That fine looking man is lonely as hell. And I
So
agree.
that's what you got out of those combos?
Well, no, I got a couple of things, but one thing I got out of Bill is he's lonely because one, he made it very clear that he and Katie are kaput. Okay, there is not
Nothing. Mm-hmm.
nothing. Not just nothing like for now. That's 2 years of nothing because that's how long this has been going on.
Did he say anything about how long he had been trying to get with her?
Well, no, but we know everything went to hell in early 2020 when that whole kiss thing happened when he kissed Brooke and Quinn outed them for it.
So I just didn't watch the dialogue today. I'm trying to get an idea of what it was.
Well, okay. Well, what Wyatt asked him was that basically Wyatt made a comment about how Bill has had a lot of free time on his hands and that you've been spending a lot of time with me instead of with like say a lady. By the way, what's going on with you and Katie? So basically, Wyatt laid down Wyatt laid down the setting to say that Bill has been spending a lot of time with his son. That he has no personal life, basically.
So Wyatt and Bill been spending a lot of time together. Okay,
yes, they
I
have.
And I heard him say to him and Katie, "What's going on between you and Katie?" And he said nothing.
Nothing, absolutely nothing. And he was like, "I'm trying to give her, the space that she needs, while not, trying to, pressure her or anything." And it was like, Well, bruh, it's been 2 years. Give up the ghost. If the chick ain't got over it, which let's be real, Katie has every reason not to get over it. I think it's okay to put a pin in it and say you're done.
Yeah.
Because I mean, come on now. It's
Well,
just
we need it to be done as the audience and as the viewers of this soap opera. We need the page to turn on Beatty permanently.
yes, we do. We really do. Because that doubt about Brooke is always gonna be there. It's always gonna be an issue and it's always gonna be a damn problem.
And it's
So
always going to be there because Brooke is always going to be vulnerable to some man in some
mhm.
way, just like Deacon when she was prancing around, um, dancing in her drawers in front of Deacon, giggling and laughing and snotting and kissing him because it felt nice.
And yeah, I agree with Amaya. Today was the pin. Today felt like they put a pin in Beatty to say Beatty's done, Beatty's over. We don't know what the hell we doing with Katie, but we not doing this.
Good.
So they yeah, Bill, that's what I meant when I said that Bill's entire um his entire feeling was that he is lonely. He because I mean he has his sons, but Will is off at school, and Liam and Wyatt have their own lives. Liam's married with kids. Wyatt has his life with Flo, and so he is feeling like a lonely man. So because he doesn't have companionship in his life, he ain't even got Justin to hang out with no more because that all got messed
Exactly.
up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he really is the loneliest man you could possibly imagine right now. So
So you feeling sorry for Dollar Bill?
I feel so, well. I'm gonna be honest. I feel more sorry for us because Demon is fine as hell, and y'all sitting up here playing like this man is Mr. Lonely, and I'm like the only reason y'all doing this is because y'all done messed the character up.
Yep.
But I'm gonna put it like this: Brad Carlton would never.
So what they have to do to clean up Dollar Bill is distance him from all Logans and drop him in a fresh new romance with another beautiful woman. Because let me tell you something, I could see Lee Finnegan dressed up from nines to the nines because that's how Dollar Bill do his women. Dollar Bill don't play when it comes with his, and I can see her decked out all in the nines, all glamored up because she is very glamorous and very beautiful. I would absolutely love those aesthetics on my TV screen with Lee Finnegan and Bill.
Well, it kind of depends, I guess. I'm looking forward to how this is going to evolve because the thing is, here's the thing: we know how Bill is with a woman he is interested in. He's grandiose. He likes flash. He likes glamour. He likes gifting extraordinary things to those women that he esteems. That is Bill's calling card. Now, will this calling card work with Lee? I don't know. Because one thing that Bill did mention when he was talking to Wyatt was that having kids, having, him and Liam and Will in his life has changed him a bit. He said that them being in his life has made him he feels a bit more compassionate. So I don't know if that particular style of going forward is going to um work with Lee as well. Because the thing is, Lee's coming from a completely different angle. She's a doctor. She's a professional. She's a dedicated surgeon who is assertive in how she runs her life. So I don't know if the flash and glamour way is gonna be a way that would work with Bill and Lee. But I'm interested to see him try and see what she gonna do with it. Because she may be impressed with it, but then again, she may not be. Because because Bill's never really, the women that Bill has fallen for are not the same type of career women as Lee is. So I'm not sure how that might work out. Well, yeah, I agree with Maya. Lee may have amnesia because she did not look like she knew herself from what we saw
What I'm
briefly.
saying is that I know Lee will definitely take to the lifestyle and become accustomed to living the Dollar Bill lifestyle, and I'm sure that she'll look fabulous doing it.
Well, no, she would look fabulous. Yeah, well, I mean, no doubt, she would look fabulous doing it. But the thing is, is if that may not be the type of thing that impresses Lee. She may
Well, of
not
course it's
care
not.
about
What's
it.
going to impress her is that he saved her life. So
Yeah.
we've got another Steffi and Finn situation going on.
Hmm.
Bill
So
is
yeah,
literally going to pluck her up at the dumpster, and he's going to nurse her back to health. And the gift, in that gift that they talking about to incredible people, I have a suspicion it might have something to do with Bill gifting Lee to Finn, or Bill gifting Finn to Lee, or something like that.
well, yeah, I saw the spoiler for next week with Bill is it's enigmatic. It's not really clear. Obviously, it's gonna involve Lee. Definitely, there's no doubt about that. Everybody
Well,
pretty much thought that this
I
morning.
don't know if the spoiler I'm referring to had any which names it had in it.
It didn't.
Oh,
All it had was Bill's name in it. It just said that Bill would give something extraordinary to someone. So
yes.
it's
No,
yeah.
he,
So
it
it
was
involves
something. No, he was
Bill.
going to give something to someone extraordinary.
Yeah.
The someone was extraordinary.
Right. So it's kind of up in the air about what
Who's
that is or
extraordinary?
who it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
who's
it's Bill.
extraordinary? Yeah,
Well,
but
that's
we
the
know
thing.
that he just got Lee, so I'm still in the Lee time frame. I'm still in
It's
the Lee
it's
order.
it probably involves Lee, but the question is what he gifts to Lee, or it doesn't involve him gifting Lee to someone because it could be a
I
couple of
think
things.
so. Because I remember I have been saying the whole time that I believed that this was the Friday that Finn escapes. Today is Thursday, and we know we're behind and everything a little bit,
Hmm.
but I believe that we are getting closer to the point where Finn is escaped, and he is going to reunite with somebody. Somebody's going to find out he's out and escaped. So I don't know. I'm hoping that Lee and Finn are reunited. And I wouldn't mind if it's with Bill, because I don't mind anything that's going to keep Bill in my orbit of the Foresters and Steffi.
Me neither. Specifically, I want Bill off the bench and actually doing something other than mooning over somebody.
Right.
So that's
Well, he could
anything
not mooning over somebody that's reciprocating. So
exactly,
Lee would work. And then
exactly.
we can get Nasty Jack, that character from
Hey,
Salazar.
I'm I'm all for Jack and Bill getting into it over Lee. So
Yep.
let's see. Oh, that you know what, Maya? I think you got it. Maya says she thinks Bill gives his jet to Finn so Finn can go to Monaco and catch Steffi. That's actually possible. That
So Bill is also then going to be responsible for reuniting Finn with Lee.
Finn with Lee. Very possible. Because the thing is, if Lee remembers, because she does look a little disorientated, but I don't know if we're gonna get full blown amnesia. Because if Lee remembers what actually happened, all she has to do is shake loose with the holy shit, my son's alive and he's trapped with that mad woman. I gotta get him. So once that happens and he go and somebody goes to try to rescue Finn, once they got Finn out of there, Finn's been very clear on where
He
his
needs
priorities
to
are. He
get
needs
to Steffi.
exactly. So that makes so Maya, your crystal ball working real good. Work on them Mega Million numbers, because I'm trying to retire early. If I hit the Mega Millions, Monaco's on me. Forget all this slush fund building fund mess. I'll pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Work on them numbers, Maya. Work on it. So yeah, and I do really appreciate them setting a tone of they're basically priming Bill to be in a position to want to do something more than just be, a talk to character, which is
Right.
long overdue. Goodness, is it overdue? So I'm looking forward to that. That was a nice. You could tell that whole dinner with Wyatt and Bill was about laying groundwork for another story.
Right. And we knew it. I knew it when I saw the new cast, when I saw the new set. Just
Hmm.
like we got that new alley set before Fan was shot. I knew that new set was gonna be something. Now I didn't. So y'all was thinking about finding her under the bridge, but we were still pretty close. He found her in the alley, but he did find Lee. So everybody that was everybody that said that was right on the money.
Mhm. So, that remember we were talking about previously about what the canvas and what the storylines were going to be after Finn and Steffi come back home. Well,
Hmm.
that's going to be one of them. Lee and Bill and possibly Jack
Hopefully.
in a little
Didn't
talk
somebody
about
even
that.
predict the Lee Jack Bill triangle?
I think so on Twitter. I think was it Ricky who said that?
Probably because she loves them all.
So shoot,
She
I mean
don't love
not,
Bill, but
not I mean
well,
well
anything to keep the Finnegans, keep the Finnegans on screen. And we got Naomi back today. My only gripe is that we haven't been getting Ted King.
well I'm really hoping that since it doesn't look like he's gonna unfortunately be an integral part of of how this resolves with Finn and Steffi, which is like I said, unfortunate. I would have preferred that he be involved, but apparently we can't win them all, so I'm gonna try not to bitch too much. Um then I once Finn is alive, and that's common knowledge to everyone. Plus the fact that would have him being reunited with Steffi when everyone's back in LA, then I expect Jack to stay in his son and his wife's face 24/7. You got because he had tons of reason to. My son was dead, now he's alive. What the hell happened? Lee, what the hell happened to you? They have tons for Jack to do with that and with the aftermath of this story. If they're not gonna have him involved in the conclusion.
And Jack and Finn had a great father-son relationship. Finn always said that he could always count on his dad. And of course he could because Jack knew that that was his son and he loved it. So I need a resolution for Finn and Jack's relationship too. Finn is Jack is just as much a part of the family as Lee, and I
You
want his perspective.
I
And I just really want to see Sexy Ted King on my screen.
I don't well of course obviously, but I don't I think that as far as Finn and his father is concerned, one thing that we've had as a common theme in this entire thing is how short life is and how people don't have the kind of time they think they have. So I think to that end, that's been a repeated thing that's been brought up by damn near every person on the screen since this started. Because of that, I really think that Finn, when he comes back from Monaco with his family, he is going to be in a forgiving place with his father. Mainly because he realized he's going to feel like I came this close to getting my ticket punched. So I need to make the most of the life that I have, and that includes my dad, but also having now dealt with Sheila in her final form. Not that I'm really just misunderstood, please give me a chance form, but the full fledged I'm crazy out of my damn mind form. I think Finn is going to have a different appreciation for what his father did, potentially meaning that he won't approve of what his father did as far as the deception involved with it. But I think Finn's gonna kind of maybe feel like what his life could have been had his father left him with Sheila. I think that's gonna cut Jack some slack in Finn's direction.
I just want to see it on screen.
Hopefully we do. I really do. I don't want it to be implied. I really, really, really would like to see it. That's why I was so excited when they said that Ted King was being cast in the role. I'm like, y'all get all right. And so
Yes, but we got just like you said, we got Naomi back. We're gonna hold on to that, and
exactly.
we got confirmation that Steffi is in Monaco on screen today
Mhm.
because that's what Taylor said. That's where Steffi is.
Mhm.
So that nurse lady is gonna be looking for Steffi too. She was on the streets with Bridge and I'm sorry, Brooke. I'm sorry, Ridge and Taylor.
Well, from what she said, because that was the next interesting scene aside from what happened with Sheila and Lee. I mean, excuse me, Sheila and Finn, was that the Tridge family talking about not none of them being able to talk to Steffi, and Steffi was referred to this. I guess you could say to I guess by her grief counselor, she was referred to this mental health facility
Mm-hmm.
where so it's not like a hospital setting. It's more like I guess you could say a
A
home
home.
away, a home. So her kids and the nanny are with her, so the kids wouldn't realize that anything's wrong. They just think they at a resort or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
it kind of gave me like hot springs or sanitarium vibes. Only not like creepy Arkham
Right.
vibes, but like one of those really high end places where you
What the
go to.
excursions is, counting to 15 and inhale and exhale and all kind of shit like that.
Exactly. Very high end mental health
Luxury
facility.
resort spa.
I think the best way that they refer to them is as retreats. So yes,
On the French Riviera.
exact. Well, I ain't even gonna lie. A ret- I sign up
Mhm.
or wellness center or whatever the hell they call luxury rehabs these days, whatever the hell it is. I mean, if it's on the French Riviera, I mean, I could go.
Mhm.
I could go be sick for a little bit. I mean, who couldn't be? Shoot.
Mhm. So Steffi is being well taken care of and taking care of herself and her kids. She got Amelia. She made a decision of sound mind that she just needed some help to help her get over these feelings she having. Our girl is going through it because she loved this man so much, and she don't understand why she can't go forward.
Right. And part of it we know is the connection, but she doesn't realize that because on paper her heart may not feel like Finn is dead, but on paper, she knows the reality is that she's dead, and the distance between those two things is what's messing her up. Hence, her going to take a rest at this I'm gonna just call it a wellness retreat, I guess, because
Exactly.
this sound like some high end shit for people who could afford $100,000 for a 7 day stay.
But you did see one of her costumes for one of those days, looking like y'all said Grace Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
She, oh man, look, like I said,
I don't
I
look
think
like that when I'm sick.
me, most of us don't even look like that if we go into a gala. Shoot,
Yeah, when we well.
I'm like, Stevie, you saw it because when I saw that picture that when it came out on Facebook and it made it onto Twitter, I was like, now didn't they say Steffi was supposed to be in some mental health place? I'm like, that don't look like no mental health setup I'd ever seen in
The
my
queen
life.
is out there. The queen is out there doing mental health in style and grace.
Right. Now, what's going to be interesting is Reginald brings up the point in the chat as well that one of the things that lady said was that like from her first being admitted, they're not really allowed to see people who are part of the cause of whatever's bringing them there. And I think that is part of what's going to add urgency to it because that's the thing. The clip that we all saw had urgency involved in it. And I think we finally figuring out why. That because of the health protocols, even though Ridge and Taylor are going to go to Monaco because they're like, oh hell no, we going out there. They may not be able to necessarily see Steffi
Mm-hmm.
right away or as soon as they get the news that Finn is alive. And SB
Therefore, the chase is on. So everybody trying to
exactly
find Steffi.
right. So
So she done
obviously
left the facility, but they won't let her see her there anyway. So they're gonna be running around the streets of Monaco.
exactly. So I mean, so because she can't actually speak to them right now, because part of that, the whole reason that doctor was making the call is that communication blackouts are part of the process. You don't get to keep your cell phone or your
Mm-hmm.
electronics so that you can contact people or they can contact you. So Steffi is kind of in like a communication isolation right now.
Yeah, and that's
So
not uncommon,
no, it's
especially
not.
first 24 hours of anything.
Exactly. So that means that because we don't know what kind of time span it's going to be because right, like the day that we're on now is flowing into night. So I'm assuming next week we're going to get to the next day of this. So the problem is that depending on how the time flows, when Finn actually is freed from that hellhole with Sheila, which will no doubt happen partially or totally because Lee is able to tell somebody what the hell went down and that her son is alive and he needs to be saved from Sheila Carter crazy ass.
Mm-hmm.
Which incidentally, we are going to get us out. We are going. What was said today will be fulfilled. What did Bill say in the restaurant today? Bill said he wished he could have been there to save Steffi and Finn. So it's very probable that now that he has been introduced to Lee, if Lee if Lee has her faculties about herself, then it's very probable that Dollar Bill is going to be the one to help save Finn from Sheila.
Child,
I mean,
listen.
Lee, and I mean, after how Dollar Bill talk, Dollar Bill looked like he swing on Sheila, but then so would half the canvas. Not that I could blame them.
And then you suspect that he will be Bill will send Finn over to Monaco in his jet.
Exactly. Thereby earning him a place of forever devotion in Lee's heart for having done that for her son,
Right.
which is a
To
great
save
way
him
to
from
start a
Sheila,
relationship.
that's a big deal.
Yes, exactly. Oh my, yeah, I heard Bill mentioning about if Wyatt ever has kids. I'm like, please not with Flo, please,
Correct.
please, because I'm gonna just be like, okay, now Flo need to go and she need to take her child with her. That's complicated now.
Yeah.
So I'd rather that we not have to walk that damn road.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
that yeah, so we are things are about to get very because the thing is, I guess because they had so much to set up. Because now that I think about it, when you look at the moving pieces, because we've gone from, if you notice, we've shifted from having a ABC story now because our other stories have been resolved. The Eric Quinn story has been resolved, and the offshoot mess of Paris and Carter with Grace and Zende, that all has been resolved. That's why we're not really seeing them now. So now we're kind of shifting to put all these pieces, to set up all these pieces at the right point to get to rush to the conclusion. On one end, it's like a square. So on one quadrant we have Sheila and Finn and him being trapped in that room with her. Then on another quadrant now we have Bill and Lee and him finding her and finding out who the hell she is, what the hell is going on, and et cetera, which will lead to Finn's rescue. But then in the other two quadrants, we have Steffi and Monaco going through it because she misses her husband, and we have the Trench family worrying about Steffi and what they can do for her in this situation. And all 4 points of this story, now that they're all set up officially as of today, because that last piece that was missing was the resolution of whether or not Lee was dead. We all knew better, but yay, it starts to play out on screen. Now, all four of those points are going to start rushing to the center of that square for a collision and for the climax of the summer of sin, which we've been waiting for since April. So I'm happy we're getting there. I really and truly am. It's been a minute. Let's see. And okay, and Reginald said now we just have to wait till Quinn gets her revenge story to happen sooner or later. Reginald, all I can say is once everybody back in LA, I really do hope Quinn takes Eric's ass to the cleaners because he needs to be. Really and truly. So I'm hoping because obviously Sin is not going to be the main focus story once they're back in LA and the news is out and everything's settled. They're going to let them be, happy like, regular people, at least for a little while before the next drama starts.
Yeah.
So
I would be love it for it to go right into Bill and Lee.
I think it will because
Because
that's
I'd
the
have to
thing.
drag Jack ass in here. Because I need Jack.
I think the stories, one of the stories we're gonna definitely have is gonna be Lee and Jack. I mean Lee, Jack, and Bill. I also think that yes, we're going to wind on back to life with Quinn and Carter, and the fact that how the divorce actually plays out, which is what I want to see. Because him talking about he'll be more than fair. Nah, you're gonna be more than fair, Broham. You're gonna be real damn fair whether you want to or not.
Yeah, because his lawyers is involved with that. So today, uh let me see, because they worked me so hard today, y'all. I was
I
so
have
busy. Yeah.
so I wasn't able to watch the show until a half hour before we came in here, so I sympathize.
And it's so not fresh. I literally um I don't even remember what. Okay, so Sheila did completely tell Finn what happened to Lee. I remember that. That was the last thing. Finn's eyes was
Hmm.
red and he was crying real tears. My baby was
That
upset.
That heifer, she first of all, her and this full victimization shit that she had going on. And I'm telling you, I was lit like Christmas. I said, I watched the story as it played out, Sheila, and it didn't play out there a lying sack of look.
But you notice how every time she has to say what she actually did and how horrible it was, she'll say, "You have no idea how much it hurt me." Yeah, like always turning around to herself being the victim, even as she's describing how she pushed Lee because Lee was about to go to the cops, but I didn't make her stay. She ran away. No, you didn't make her stay because she ran away.
Exactly. It's
She
just
was
like,
trying to pin her up in there. She ran away, and then I chased her, and I saw her go over the cliff, but it was an accident.
the part
So
that
you
had me.
telling me that my mother is dead. I want him to raise hell tomorrow.
Oh, he is. The part that had me stone cold tripping was how I mean, sis was in there really with the victimhood. I need you to understand how important it was for me to know I hadn't killed you. I'm over here like,
Yep.
girl, why do you think this man give a shit about how you feel, Sheila?
Sheila is one of a kind. That's why I love Sheila Dirty Draws.
I'm like,
She got all the audacity.
and Reginald said it. And then she busts up and said, and then why do people keep making me do things I don't want to do? My mouth just clipped open. I almost let my piece of taco fall out my mouth that I was eating while I was watching that. I was like, people make you do it. So people make you kill them, Sheila. People make you do these things. That is the key. That is the key. Is the biggest key about Sheila's personality and her whole psychosis of who makes her all. It makes her who she is. She is still at this late stage in the game, even after all this talk about how it was an accident that she shot Finn, but not an accident that she was trying to kill Steffy because Steffy just wouldn't get out of her way, etc., etc. Even after shoving, knocking Lee in the water, she talking about, I don't know how she got in there. She got in there because you rammed the back of her car. We all heard it. Okay, Sheila. You rammed the back of the woman's truck. That's how she ended up in the water. After all of this, she is still up here with this zero accountability for whatever the hell she has done. It is never her fault. Nothing. Not the bullet she put in people, not the trigger she pulled, not the car she put in the water. Nothing. None of it ain't her fault. Not none of it. Not one single thing is actually Sheila's fault. And she actually expects people, or in this case, Finn, to sympathize and empathize with her over the things that are not her fault and how bad she feels about them. Child, if you don't just, I'm just like, and she's saying this stuff out loud. That's how you know she's kind of really, really nuts. Is that she's saying this out loud? She's saying it to Finn, and Finn is just laying there looking at her like, "Are you serious? You really believe that you're telling me right now? You totally believe what you're telling me, that none of this is your fault, that people have made you do it. People made you kill my mom. People made you shoot me. People made you kill my wife. People made you break out of jail. People just make you do terrible things all day, Sheila, and none of it ain't your fault." Mm, mm, mm. Yes, Finn is saying, please somebody help me. I don't know how they will or how they can, but Finn needs help. So I'm kind of sort of on the point of thinking that my and several other people's original idea that Mike would actually turn on Sheila. He been down bad for her all this time, and all of this stuff he done said in the last week has really, really made me want to strike a line through his name. I don't think that man would turn on Sheila for a ticket to heaven. Like like somebody could show up and guarantee give him a VIP ticket to the hereafter, to glory, and he would say, you know what, I can't do that. I can't do that. I gotta stick by my woman, by my Sheila, by my love. So yeah, I think we need to take Mike out of the he might rescue Finn list.
Yeah, I'm not satisfied that Mike would help Finn. I think that he is whipped by Sheila.
Yeah,
Just like
absolutely.
Deacon was confessing the same thing. So I wonder if Deacon is going to Sheila is going to entice Deacon to try to help her escape.
I don't think so at this point because one, first of all, from a pragmatic, logical sense of point of view, anybody who helps Sheila has way too much to lose. Sheila has done too much at this point. Helping Sheila when she was, pleading that she had been misunderstood and that people she just needed a chance and that don't it doesn't everybody deserve a second, third, fourth, 25th chance, etc., etc. That was one thing. Sheila did too much. She supposedly almost killed somebody, or she attempted to kill two people. She attempted to kill one person and ended up shooting two. Plus, she didn't put Lee in the water and think she didn't kill her. Nobody can afford to help Sheila at this point. Plus, she's a runaway convict. So no, there will be no court. The only help Sheila will get will be from Mike because he's the only person willing to risk his entire life, his standing, and anything else he has in his life for Sheila because she's worth it. She is not worth that to anybody else on the canvas for no reason.
I'm gonna really miss that chemistry between Kimberlyn and Sean.
And I am too, because the thing is, Sheila was somebody who actually needed friends, so it was nice to see her have that. And so I'm it's one of the reasons why I was so disappointed in Sheila for going rogue the way she did, because the way she went rogue guaranteed that she was going to trash the very tenuous relationship she built with Taylor and with Deacon, because
And Finn.
and
I
then
mean,
she's
Finn wasn't completely against Sheila in being in his life. He actually wanted to get to know Sheila, but he was hell bent on it wasn't going to happen against Steffi's wishes. That's point blank and the period. He made
well,
that clear from go.
and that's important because one, even though he may have wanted to get to know Sheila, because like, well, bottom line is he didn't know her from dollar one. All he knew was what she said and what was heard. He wasn't about to go ahead and do anything crazy to try to force Sheila into his family's life and create all this havoc, which means he has better sense than half the people on this show when it comes down to having opposition in your marriage to something.
Right. He knows what battles to pick and which ones to just let them go. When Sheila said no, I'm sorry. Steffi said no when Taylor said inviting her, she was like, no way. She said she was like, no way. Taylor talked into it, but I'm glad she did because Taylor was gonna snap at that point. Taylor was already gonna snap. I'm not Taylor, but Sheila was already gonna snap
Hmm.
and do something crazy at that moment. Because remember, Deacon was talking her off a ledge, talking about like just chill out, chill out. And that's when Taylor called and invited her Christmas. She was about to lose her
Hmm.
stuff then.
Exactly. Which in hindsight was actually the right call because she was getting so frustrated with not having access that yes, she
She
was
was
about
about to
to
do
do
something.
something stupid, something that
Right.
something that was going to be just terrible, and her getting just that brief time in on Christmas Eve was enough to stave off the madness. But of course, it's just like anything else with Sheila. It was a temporary reprieve because
Hmm.
eventually she still ended up doing something that ended up being a huge mess. Because my thing is this: if Sheila had had any sense, after if she could not resist, trying to put Brooke in her place and get even with her, once the whole matter was exposed, honey, she would have been better off just leaving it exposed. You know why? Because it would have been a lot easier to somehow beg your way into forgiveness for making an alcoholic break their sobriety than it is for two murder attempts, a prison escape. No, three murder attempts and a prison escape.
Well, we said that way back then on April 1st. So Sheila actually shot two people in an alley because they found out that she switched labels on an alcohol bottle
Mm. It
that
was
nobody
gonna
could
get
prove anyway.
that was well her whole thing was, of course, that Steffi was going to expose her to Finn. and that would ruin any chance she had of getting into Finn's life. And I don't know
Hmm.
what she thought. I don't know what she thought because Steffi told her. That's the part that made no sense. Steffi told her that she had already told Finn. So it's not like killing uh Steffi was going to stop Finn from knowing what his mother had been up to.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it was just I just don't think they thought I just don't think they thought that part of it
They never
through very
think it do.
well.
They never do.
But but since we're getting to an end that's actually kind of fantastic, I'm gonna go ahead um and um and support them in getting us to the ending that we really want for this story.
Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
The,
Yeah.
but the problem is, hopefully, Bubbles comes back soon because, unfortunately, with this thing, especially, it's one of the reasons why I prefer to use StreamYard is great, but I prefer to use it on my computer because when you're on your phone, it's too easy to kick yourself out.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm just very, very pleased with the pace of how this is wrapping up now. Finn was in bed for me too long, but since he's gotten out of bed, everything to me seems to be moving right along. And I guess that was to just drag out for Jackie's maternity leave, which I get it. But we are upon it, y'all. Finn has already been out the bed, and when he found out what Sheila did to Lee, he is gone. There's no telling what he's going to do to Sheila. Mike might have to pull Finn
They're
off
gonna fight. That's good now. If the spoilers to believe next week, they are going to be in one hell of a fight. But unfortunately, she gonna pull one of them damn syringes again.
again. She
Yeah,
gonna syringe him again.
only this time she ain't gonna be dosing up his IV line. I think she just gonna flat
It's gonna
out
go straight into him,
just go yeah.
and he gonna
Cause
go out for real.
right. So I think that's where we're supposed to be. Not this Friday, but next Friday. Because the spoilers basically said Finn is gonna basically get, I guess you could say, a second win, realizing, what this woman has done to his wife, what she did to his mama, and it's just gonna be a big old hell no. And try because the thing is, this situation has now gone fully nuclear. It's gone. The reactor is going to explode. There is no stopping it. There is no turning it down. There is no turning back. This
Well, right,
train is going.
because Finn is clearly going to see that Sheila has killed everybody that's gotten in her way of getting
Exactly.
close to him, and that Sheila will kill anybody to keep him from leaving that room.
Exactly. And she is going to be he's going to be completely and totally like, oh no. First you done did my wife this. Now you've done, and now you tell me that my mom, who saved my life, that you're giving me this bullshit story about an accident when I know damn well you done sat up here and murdered her because she was in your way. Oh hell no. Mm-mm. I don't care if I gotta move. If I gotta move mountains, I'm getting the hell out of this room before you kill. First of all, one before you kill anybody else, or before you kill me and get back to my family. So yeah, finding out what she did, what Sheila did to Lee, is gonna just be almost just as bad as him suspecting what she did to Steffi. And it was already bad enough that he knew that she tried to kill Steffi, and that's how she shot him. He also strongly suspects that she still tried to do something to Steffi after she had shot him, and then now she's finding out that she didn't just recently offed his mom. So that means when and that's the part Sheila doesn't understand. When she sits up here and talks about this accident crap, an accident is just that, an accident. Okay, but if what happened with Finn, if anybody did believe it was an accident, nobody would believe all these other things are accidents. You shooting Steffi after you shot your son wasn't an accident. You pushing Lee in that damn water and ramming her car was not an accident. These are not accidents. These are deliberate acts of malice towards people who are in your way of what you want.
Yeah, SB writer, I agree. I'm looking forward to both reunions. The reunion between Lee and Finn, and between Steffi and Finn, because one thing about it is that Finn, uh, The dialogue has always been clear that Finn pretty much is the mama's boy. That he loves her, he loves his mom. He looked up to her, and he wanted to be a doctor just like his mom. And the way, and you see how protective he was over his mom when Jack, when he found out about Jack lying about his identity to him and Lee. Finn has a very close bond with his mother, and I just can't. I don't know. Finn might choke. Somebody said, who said that in a tweet about Finn choking the life out of Sheila, and I remember laughing at that part because he might just try to choke the life out of her with his
Mm.
bare hands after he finds out what she did to Lacey. He still doesn't know, just like you said, he still doesn't know that Sheila actually shot Steffy yet.
Oh man, that's a distract from this, but I swear, sometimes America ain't worth shit sometimes. Now you got with the hearing. Now you got Matthew. What is it? Matthew Pottinger. He's the former deputy national security advisor who was testifying, and apparently he has somebody sitting off to his right who is a total snack. He looked like, damn, he do look like Clark Kent. Hmm.
Oh,
Yummy. And half the tag is like, who? I was like, he's sitting behind a Republican, so we know he ain't worth a damn. But who is he? He looks
mm,
fine as hell. Anybody got his name? I'm like, y'all, democracy is on the line, and y'all trying to find out the dude who is most likely probably an attorney or some sort of or some sort of either an attorney or something for the guy who's testifying in front of the committee. Y'all want to know who that snack is? Y'all got to stop. Y'all gotta stop. They gonna end up having Clark. If you see Clark Kent trending on Twitter, it's cause of him. I done seen about 12 thirst tweets talking about who that fine is. Somebody, I'm like, although I have to admit they're not wrong. He is cute. Mm.
Child, I want to know. I wonder if Ridge and Taylor really gonna have an affair. I'm not an affair, but have a tryst over in Monaco. I want to know how far. We know something. It's going to get close, but I want to know. I wonder if we're going to get an actual kiss because I can't. I'm not a kiss. An actual sex, actual
I don't think
adultery,
so. No,
because
that's not Taylor
we
style.
just came out of that uh uh bottlegate over a damn kiss,
Mm-hmm.
kiss. I just cannot imagine going, having Taylor and Ridge having a secret about them kissing in Monaco.
Well, that's the thing. One, I don't think it'll be sex because that's not Taylor. Taylor is not built
She could be
really to do
overcome with
that.
emotion.
Maybe, but that's the thing. But the problem is, even if she got overcome with emotion, she wouldn't be cool with keeping quiet about it though. She would feel that that was wrong. It would be bad enough to sleep with another woman's husband. That's a problem. But then to go back and actually have to lie about it, that's not gonna fly. Because why it's not gonna fly? Because she has raked Brooke over the coals for decades for just that kind of behavior. She not gonna do that. Because even though technically, I hate Brooke and I can't stand her upbridge, that's wrong. Because if you're gonna sleep with somebody's husband, don't you cannot go look up in their face after that and pretend like you didn't do it.
I'm
Hey, see if you can let some folks in because Can is about to implode because she got stuff to say and she had told everybody, I don't know how y'all just be up in here typing.
She's gone. Where is she? She's gone. Let me
Okay,
see if I can find her on Twitter.
okay. So yeah, I think something may happen between Tridge, but I don't think it's gonna be sex because they would not be able to go he would not be able to go back to Brooke after having supped with Taylor and look Brooke in the face. And Taylor wouldn't be okay with that. Also, I would not be okay with Tridge happening. First of all, I don't really want Tridge right now anyway, because Ridge is really worthless. And I don't want him treating Taylor like some dime store amusement while he's on vacation in Monaco, trying to look after his kid, and then go skulk back up into Brooke bed. So I have no interest in them sleeping together because that's exactly how it would play. It would not be Ridge going home to break up his marriage with Brooke because he cheated on her. It would be this happened. It was a moment. We didn't mean it. We keep it a secret. Mm-mm. I ain't like that BS when it happened with Brill.
What you got on the docket, Bubbles? Oh, she
You
gone
asked
again?
me a question at the very moment that I had just poured water into my mouth and I could not swallow fast enough and my throat cramped.
Oh
Oh
boy.
Lord.
What did you
Dang.
ask me?
Oh, I was just asking what you had on your mind this evening.
Oh my gosh. When did the thing start? Is the thing started?
It's on now.
Y'all know I had to get my client
Of course.
taken care of. And today has been an uber fucked day for me because when I woke up this morning, I thought that it was Tuesday.
Mm.
And so everything in my life got behind today because I thought today was Tuesday. So I had an appointment with a client that was supposed to be at 3 or 4 o'clock, and I did not get to her house until 5, and I didn't leave her house until after 6. I don't think I've even eaten today because I cooked and I sat down to eat and I took like maybe 3 bites and I looked at my phone and she said, "Are you coming today or did I get our dates confused?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, it is Thursday. Them people told you 3 times already that it really is Thursday today, and you should have believed them." Because I really thought that lady was lying to me. And I looked at my calendar, so I knew it was Thursday, but I still didn't believe that shit. And that's how my day has gone. That is how my day has gone. Um, and I'm still waiting on Can. I sent her a message to let her know that I was back and to come on. So I hope she gets it. Because I want to know what she gotta say. I want to hear what she gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to catch up with everything everybody wrote. Lee is gonna clean up $2 bill Logan the same way Taylor cleaned up the image of Deacon Logan. The difference is Bill and Lee will be more interesting because they are equals. That's what SB Ryder said a little bit ago, and that is she about right. I actually thought that in my head today because Bill was sitting there talking to Katie, talking to Wyatt about how he's gonna give up on Katie, I guess. He trying and she not interested. But then he done went up here and found his sleeping beauty. He done tripped over his Cinderella. He done got his Rapunzel. These Spencer men are always rescuing people, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now. But
Rescue Rangers.
That's what they do. That's part of their DNA. So he done rescued Lee, which means he got to fall in love with her because that's usually what happens. So we will probably get a triangle with Bill and Lee and Jack.
I'm for it.
I'm for that. I want to see Jack fighting for his family. And Bill being Bill Spencer, well, if you hadn't gotten involved with that nutcase Sheila, or if you just told your wife about that nutcase Sheila, you wouldn't have lost her in the first place. We still don't even know what kind of job Jack Finnegan has.
We still don't know what Jack does. They claimed he was a lawyer on that bold laugh because somebody said that he was, I'm sorry, not a lawyer.
A doctor.
And he's not a doctor. We all know he's not a doctor. Finn still isn't asking for his dad, the doctor.
Right.
So
because
we still don't know what Jack does. We don't know.
But I'm talking about Finn reinforced that his mom was the reason he wanted to be a doctor. Somebody reinforced that this week. It was said, well, that's Lee is the reason why Finn wanted to be a doctor.
That's right.
That was reinforced. It was never Jack and Lee. It was Lee because Lee is the doctor.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And Finn is old mama's boy.
So I feel like Jack just probably ain't never had a job, and he probably
was a
just
full-time father.
He was a full-time dad, the stay-at-home dad. He stayed at home, and Lee was the breadwinner.
Probably, I can see that because it can happen.
I believe,
with raising kids and the cost of child care and stuff like that, Sometimes it is cheaper for somebody to stay home.
Well, that's what the last payroll company that I worked for, our receptionist, that's actually why she became a stay-at-home mom, because even with the both of them working, both of them full time, both of them had the health care, everything. It was going to be cheaper for her to stay at home and keep the kids because all the money
Child
that
care is
was,
expensive.
yeah,
Oh,
the
that's exactly what
getting ate
same
up.
thing happened
So,
with a coworker. When we were remote for 2020, and they started talking about us all going back when our return to work in the office date was. One of my good coworkers was just like, she's like, well, I won't be coming back to the office. She's like, I'm resigning. I was like, why? I was like, because she's like, we did the math. She's like, it is cheaper for me because she had a baby she had a COVID baby, of course, like a lot of people did during that time of year. She's like, it is way cheaper for me to stay home with both of my sons, the new one and the 3-year-old, than it is for us to try to figure out how to pay for childcare for these two children. She's like, it don't make no sense. Basically, we would be spending my entire paycheck on paying for childcare. So why not just stay home?
right. And that's what they want women to do anyway. But some men are taking that role because their wives make more money than them. So it's not even about a point of pride. We need as much money as we can get. And if you're making $10,000 a year more than what I'm making, yes, I will sit my ass at home and raise our kids because I am a father and fathers raise kids too. Girl, they talk showing these tweets.
What tweet? Oh, for what? For the hearing?
Mm-hmm. Then they talking about Mike Pence and how Donald Trump put a target on his back.
Of course he did. And there was also thirst trapping for that cute dude who was sitting behind one of the witnesses, trying to figure out who he is, saying he looked like Clark Kent. And he did. He really did put a target on. Maya said, I had a dream that Jack is a doctor. He better not be, because that's not gonna make no
Well,
sense.
so Jack met Sheila when he was visiting Lee at the hospital. So Jack would go to the hospital to visit Lee, who was a doctor, very busy woman, and he would spot Sheila, and him and Sheila would go sneak into a damn
Room
uh,
closet.
yeah, broom closet and have sex. And then they started meeting at her hotel or at her hotel room or her apartment or whatever, and they would have sex there. But they was having sex a whole lot, and so they was having sex so much that Jack knew that that was his baby. He knew he
What?
seeded that.
Well, Connie, Sheila Carter is not a woman of triangles. When she picks a man, she picks a man. She is laser focused. Sheila Carter is not going to be out here waffling, and she's not going to be with a waffler. Now, she might try to get a man from his wife like she did Scott and Eric, and apparently Jack. But Sheila Carter is not a woman of triangles, honey. That's her man. Even back in Genoa City, when she was sleeping with Scott and Scott was still married to Lauren, we didn't count that as no damn triangle. Sheila put the claim on that man and said, "This fixing to be my life. Well, I don't do no triangles, and he ain't fixing to fuck around with you either." And Scott didn't. When he went and was with Sheila, he wouldn't. I mean, he wasn't really trying to get back the groove with Lauren. Sheila knows how to pick men who are committed to her. And well, except for Eric, because we know how Eric was. But when he was with Sheila, he wasn't looking for nobody else. She wasn't trying to have no affairs on him. Sheila ain't never cheated on none of the men she's been with. So if she tell you that you put a baby in her, that's gospel because she's not gonna ever need no paternity test like a certain blonde from the hills. I can say
Mm-hmm.
that about Sheila. She ain't never gonna be.
That's
Well,
what Sheila needed to go do. If they didn't go find her a therapist, call Ayana for her.
but what gets me about Sheila is sometimes her choice in men. So I don't recognize those Genoa City kids because they Tom Fisher.
I know
And
what the hell would she would want with Tom Fisher.
Tom Fisher is not the kind of man that Sheila Carter would be interested in.
That's a come out on count. None of that Y and R crap.
No, he's not the kind of man like you guys are saying that Deacon is not the kind of man that Taylor would even think to spend her time on. Um, Tom Fisher is not the kind of man that Sheila Carter would think to spend her time on, because first and foremost, Sheila Carter is not gonna have no man hitting on her kids. Hitting on her kids? The obsessed mother? Honey, can't nobody abuse her kids but her. And she ain't gonna hit them. She might kidnap them, hold them against their will. She might have a birthmark removed off a baby she stole. But Sheila is not going to raise her hand to a child. So I could not see her being involved with somebody like Tom Fisher, who is,
Terrible Tom.
Terrible
Terrible
Tom.
Tom.
He's a compulsive abuser. He beat his kids. He beat his wife. He was a horrible person. That's not the kind of man that Sheila Carter's going to be like, you know what? I can have his baby.
Sheila Carter would Dexter his ass.
Sheila Carter likes men who have money. Deacon was a side venture, but she and Deacon are more alike, but she crazy.
Yeah, she was kicking the bobo with Deacon. She was just kicking the bobo, chewing the fat, just kicking a little jive or whatever. But Deacon's not her type.
Right. She was just trying to use Deacon to get what she wanted. And that was access to thin. And that's why she came up with that. Well, we'll just tell them that we dating and we in love. And then through your access to hope, I'll have access to thin, and we both can have everything. It wasn't about Deacon curling her toes. It was about her getting something. Now, if Deacon was to win the damn lottery, she might have a different thought about him. But she is not interested in him in any way, shape, or form. And that's why you could never get me to believe that she was interested in no damn Tom Fisher. Ooh, who is that?
But I love the fact that Sheila got Mike back. I really do hope that they leave together and come back together.
I believe they are going to leave together. Are they finished with the hearings? Why are they leaving?
They on break right now.
It's only till 9 o'clock, so I guess they must be taking a break right now.
Okay.
Now, I agree. Also, I wanted to agree with what Amaya said. If it turns out that Belle actually named Bill and Lee and did this as like a homage to his parents, that would be too cute. That really would. Mark Hardy pointed out that it's very ironic that Bill is named Bill and Lee is named Lee. Who do we know named Bill and Lee? The creators of this whole fantastic show that we watch every week.
That's very true.
So
the
that
character
would be
Lee was named after his mom anyway. He already confirmed that on the Bold Live, that Lee's character is named after his mom, Lee Phillip Bell.
Oh, well, there you go. I did not know that.
Casey confirmed that on the Bold Live, that's how Lee got her name, for Lee Phillip Bell. She had recently passed and all. What was it, about a year or two ago?
Yeah, she's been, no, it's been longer than 2 years, isn't it?
Well, I don't know how long it's been, but yeah, he definitely said that's how Lee got her name, because somebody asked. Yeah, so Lee's name, was that after the creator Lee? And they said, yep, sure was.
Let's see. Yeah, she died early. No, you're pretty close. She died in early 2020.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was asking the Bold Live, so that was interesting news. So Lee is a character that is close to them by that. So that's probably why they keep her around. And hey, I ain't mad at it, because I'm all for anything that's gonna get Bill redeemed, and especially if it's gonna keep him in more of Steffi's orbit, because we all think that we like him better when he's in Steffi's orbit.
He needs something to do other than talk to his sons about their own shit. Dollar Bill was never designed to be a non-dynamic character who was a freaking talk to. That was not how he came to the show raising hell. And now he just been sitting over there raising corn in his backyard, if he had one that where he could in California. Because now he ain't even raising a damn eyebrow now. So yeah, right. It's about you. Now,
yes, and he about due, because he hasn't had any, and Thomas is about due. So we coming around to Bill's story that was promised. Now we left with Thomas.
Mm-hmm. Now, Bubbles, I'm going ahead and putting my out there theory or out here since Drinks the Day After has had a good average. I think that Flaviana, that doctor who called the Tridge family today, I think she might be showing up in LA. Cause she a little bit too cute just to be a doctor in the south of France doing nothing but treating people.
Flavia is not
Flavia.
coming to Los Angeles. Flavia is in Monaco, and she's not
Mhm.
going to be coming to the States, and I don't blame her. She's in Monaco. You don't leave
Yeah.
paradise for the bowels of hell, even though it's Los Angeles and it's nice. I can't
Well,
see her slumming. She's in Monaco with rich people.
it depends. It depends. All I can say is this much: is that so far of the 9 summer previews we got, we have successfully gotten 7 out of the 9 things they said. The only 2 things left are whatever the hell it is they're doing with Lope. That's not a love triangle, and Thomas supposedly finding love. I
Now,
wish Thomas was. Hmm?
if they bring Flavia, they have to bring her to date Thomas. That's the only way that I would see them adding another
Oh,
character to the canvas. She needs to come and fall in love with Thomas, and then they need to go get Douglas from them people.
Right, because I don't even want Thomas in a triangle at this point. I
oh
want Thomas
no.
to meet somebody and fall in love.
I
That's
need
the
him.
only way I
Yeah.
want to handle it.
No.
That's
And
it. I don't want Thomas fighting over no girls
Yeah.
because nobody's fighting over him. So he wouldn't even be in a triangle. But I don't
And,
want him fighting over any woman. I want a woman to meet Thomas and fall in love with him and them to fall in love and for her to tell him that they should be raising his son as a family.
and see, that is why I will accept Flavia. Because if Flavia comes, um, then she ain't bringing no baggage. It'll be a while before they, bring somebody on to be Flavia's boyfriend from her past if they want to try to throw him in a triangle. But I can't see them bringing her over from Monaco with an ex in tow. So they would at least have enough time to establish her and Thomas as a couple. And maybe she don't got an ex. Maybe Thomas can be happy with Flavia like Steffi is happy with Finn. But even with Finn, I still am waiting for the other shoe to fall because I understand how much Belle loves these triangles. And I do not believe that Sin is going to be immune from triangle life. It's just that they're going to give us a couple of great years of Steffi and Finn being each other's everything. And then I don't know, maybe someday Finn gets a taste of what his mama was like when she was young, and some crazy ass nurse falls in love with him and starts stalking him.
Right.
Um,
So we all, we okay with that. We know that
yeah,
that's the nature of the soaps and it's going to have a down. But we literally haven't had our share of ups yet.
and that's what I'm saying. If they bring Flavia to LA, she and Thomas need to be together and happy for at least 3 years or 5 years before we get any type of Flavia's boyfriend came back from the dead with their baby.
Right, because these relationships that they want to build up, if they want them to have real ship and lifetime ties, where like Lumi, like you've got your Jammy and your Lumi people. After all those
mhm.
years, they still those ships are still strong. And even me, I didn't even watch them those years, and I jumped on Lumi. I was like, yeah, I understand that he's hot, they hot together, and they soulmates. But I love Lumi on screen together. And all the writers that they've gone through, none of the writers have ruined the dynamic for us. So I need for the Bells to keep and try to preserve and try to take care of the relationships that they try to build up. Try to have a super couple. They've ruined all the rest of them. Let Steffi and Finn be one. The rest of them are trash.
Can you got a good point. I mean, we already know Bill was named after after Bill Bell because that's what the character names is. And if he named Lee after Lee, maybe he is trying to recreate a love
But,
story for his parents. That
but
would be cute.
y'all missing the point. Dollar Bill Spencer was named after his daddy.
Right.
So his daddy would have had to be named after Bill Bell for his name to be tied to Bill Bell. They didn't name him Bill Spencer when he came on the set because of
He
Bill.
was a retcon.
He was a retcon child because Bill Spencer, OG Bill Spencer had one child, and
That
even
was Caroline.
And even Karen was a retcon. Every
Correct.
child outside of Caroline was a retcon bastard. Well, Karen is a twin, but honey, they told us in the first episode that Caroline was the only child close to both
That's
her
right.
parents, and her mama had died, and she promised her mama before she died that she wouldn't give nobody her cookie until she got married. And that's why Ridge Forrester wanted her because he couldn't get her cookie out that damn jar.
Sorry, supposed to spoil us.
But
Yeah, that's what I'm reading.
I don't
What happened?
Well, let's see. Finn has the cover along with Ashlyn and Phyllis from Y&R. So Finn's desperate plan, and there's a screenshot of him and Sheila wearing the same stuff they wearing today. So this may take a minute. Oh, Finn got his hand wrapped around that neck. Pop
He
it like a
told
chicken. Yes, he does. Pop her neck like a chicken. Okay, that's a little violent, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But we all had to get it out though.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. After all this shit, she kind of got it coming.
Mhm.
Let's be real. Now, also,
There it is on the screen. So
precisely.
he's holding his chest. I thought he was making a fist, but he's holding his chest. That's not even the side he got shot on.
No, well, girl,
Have mercy.
blocking can't be everything. I guess.
I ain't mad.
I ain't
That's
mad.
where the camera is sitting at. So
I don't even see Sheila.
look,
Wait, she scroll back.
you see
'Cause I think
that?
Okay,
that's the
so what's
second
that?
picture
That's
after
the
that
spoiler
one.
pick. What's the soap opera digest cover?
Yeah.
Is Sheila on it?
Mm, no, it's not the cover. It's the screen cap that Tara posted. It's
Well,
Finn
what's on the
stand
cover?
up.
If you look, I'm
Finn's
sharing the
desperate
screen.
plan.
Are y'all? I'm sharing the screen so you can see the cover.
Yeah.
So who is that to the left of Finn? Is that
That's Jake. No, that's Jake
Jake?
from Babe.
Okay, Jake, Finn, Phyllis, and Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, got it.
Yeah, we gotta see. I'm just waiting to see if Ashlyn really gonna try to kill Victoria. I think we're gonna get another JT murder mystery or some bullshit like that.
He's just trying to scare her ass, and I love it. I love it.
Well,
I love it because
she
that's
should
what
be
she
scared
deserves.
after all that bullshit. But here's the thing: this is stupid. Because tomorrow's show, which was the Canadian Day Ahead, let me tell you something. If my brother, even if I wasn't really on bed on speaking terms with him, came and told me, "Look, your ex is mad as hell. He is looking for blood and vengeance. You need to be careful." If my brother tells me that, whether I'm speaking to him or not, if I go to my window and my ex is on my balcony knocking on the glass, I am not letting him in. So you know what? She needs to have her ass scared because apparently they don't have horror movies in Genoa City because she ain't never seen one. I'm like, he knocked on the door and you let him in to hear him out. Girl.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I like that idea, Amaya. It would be
Oh
great
my God.
if Bill is recreating a
Deacon
new
is
love
too
story.
gullible.
What?
That's just
Deacon is too
that's
gullible.
gullible about what? What the hold on. Let me go see.
A spoiler that's coming up. An
I turned my
unwilling
head.
Deacon gets sucked into Sheila's newest scheme.
What did I
Oh,
just say?
Lord.
Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say that? I literally just said that.
What
Deacon
you
gonna
say,
try to
Reggie? What do you say?
Okay.
Deacon is
that's
gonna get
interesting.
sucked into Sheila's scheme.
An unwilling Deacon gets sucked into Sheila's newest scheme.
Yeah, but he gonna do it.
Well,
He
no,
might not be
it's
willing
it's
to.
not.
What you think you gonna do, son?
It doesn't say. All it says is an unwilling Deacon gets sucked into Sheila's
Oh,
newest
heck.
scheme.
Oh yeah, I remember
I,
about that.
Who is
I'm
Lady
saying,
talking to?
I wants to see what is
Y'all
this.
seeing too much. I'm gonna go on Twitter right now. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.
You guys, so earlier today, I was minding my business. I was walking these Twitter streets. Should have been minding my own business, but I was out here walking these Twitter streets, and I walked up on somebody who said some crazy ass shit like so now Steffi knows who Finn is because when she woke up, she thought she was still married to Liam and didn't even know she had a baby. And I'm like, first of all, y'all not know how amnesia works, and second of all, she had amnesia for like 2 hours.
It didn't even
Due to a traumatic experience, and y'all are really like they mad because they're soulmates. But they're saying that people don't want to accept that Brooke and Ridge are soulmates after 35 years. But Steffi and Finn can be soulmates after 2 years, and she didn't even remember him when she woke up from being shot. And I'm like, y'all people are so
that's reaching. That's so salty. And look, I actually talked about this with Sam earlier in Can, but before they got booted off the chat.
Can I say something first? To what she just said.
Sure.
Liam didn't remember Hope, and they supposed to be meant to be.
Yeah, he didn't remember. He didn't remember Hope in that cabin when he was with Quinn.
Okay, I'm seeing a picture where I think I see what the problem is. Apparently, Sheila, because she's a damn idiot, decides that she's going to go run to Deacon after all of this falls apart. Because from what I could see, he trying to slam a door in her face, and she got herself jammed up in the way trying to keep the door open. So yeah, she go looking for Deacon, probably to try to get some help that she should not be getting.
And you know where they're at, don't you?
What?
In Deacon's new apartment.
Yeah, well,
because that ain't a broom closet with a window and shades, honey.
No, I'm looking at that. I'm like,
look at the lock on the door. It's got a chain lock.
It does. So it looks like Deacon finally go get himself some digs. It's overdue, but yeah, I'm glad he finally get out the broom closet because that's ridiculous.
Damn, Jackie look good in this picture. Let me
Don't
share
this
screen.
I'm like, sis, girl, you in morning. I said that before. I'm like, honey, your ass in morning, but you look damn good in morning.
If this is what people look like when they grieving, look at her, honey. See, that's what I look like when I'm grieving.
See, this is how you get picked up. This is how, if you go to your husband's funeral dressed like that, you ain't gonna be a widow long. Somebody gonna ask you. Somebody gonna be trying to holler.
Honey,
at the repast.
Again. Yes. And if Bill hadn't been the one finding his future boo and had ended up in Monaco, he probably would have tried to scoop Steffy up. This picture was photoshopped, though. I want y'all to know that picture was photoshopped because her waist is not like that. And they can say she's kind of slightly turned to the side, but you can see that's been photoshopped. And I might even ask
Sam
her
said let her in. I think she's still booted out.
Who?
Sam.
Oh, come on, girl.
Yeah, I just had to get off and see those pictures y'all was seeing.
Well, we were sharing them.
Yeah, but I can't see it as the way y'all can on y'all laptops. I'm using my phone.
That's right, because you were on the phone. You know what? I don't know what it looks like when we share the screen on the phone.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's small, but I can see it. So yes, we got a lot of spoilers that came out.
Honey, I am.
And one of them started out, Steffi and Finn's epic love story continues in Monte Carlo. Y'all know that was just like, I wanted to dance.
Taylor posted a picture worth 1,000 words.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, she posted.
Oh, she's going to post a picture of Finn.
Oh, well, yeah, that would probably just about kill everybody in LA. Go, wait, there's a picture of Finn in Monaco. Oh, my God.
Is Sheila wearing a wig when she goes to see Deacon?
No, she got a hoodie on.
Well, that's the thing. But what's under the hoodie look weird.
Because remember,
and it might be a red wig. It might be a wig. Mike got her.
No. Remember, y'all remember she just got out of the shower. Her hair was still wet.
Well, that's okay. You trying to tell me You trying to tell me that by the time all of this roll out, which is gonna probably mean by the time Sheila tries to run to Deacon, it's because the jig is completely up,
Yeah, go
and
back to the Deacon picture.
she's trying to get out. So it's like her hair's still gonna be wet. Then damn,
So
y'all ain't let it
Yes,
dry.
is
look,
that
this picture with Finn right here. That's the same jacket. This is what she got on right now. It's the same day. She just got out. Remember, she told Mike, I'm going to go take a shower. Mike was talking to Finn. She came out of the shower looking like this because when these pictures first dropped, I was like, why is her hair wet like that? Did she go swimming looking for Lee, or they put some kind of funky product in her hair? But we found out she went and took a shower. This is all the same day. We are on the same day. We've been on the
Wow.
same day since whenever she took that shower when she got back. It's the same
and
day.
Taylor's wearing black today. So and Thomas was wearing no shirt today. Yummy, yummy.
Until 5 seconds later, he put shirt on.
Yeah,
But
when his dad came over.
But so that's why her hair looks like that in this picture, because she's still, it's still tied back like it is in the first picture, but she has this hoodie on so that nobody can really see her face. She's probably got it pulled down and her hair hanging a little bit in her face, but she's not wearing a red wig because she ain't thinking about Mike like that. She's trying to.
I want to know where that place is. That's not Steffi's Cliff House, is
No,
it?
I think that's Deacon's new apartment. I agree with Bubbles on that. I think
Yeah,
So
Deacon
Deacon gets
finally
an
got him a
apartment
bag.
before Thomas. So Deacon gets an apartment before Thomas.
I'm gonna need you to get over it, girl. You know how this story
Well,
goes.
let's be real. Thomas has more options of who he could stay with. Deacon in a broom closet. Thomas could crash in Malibu. He could be crashing at Forrester. He could be crashing at his grandpa's house. Deacon in a broom closet. So yes, all these people need a place. But yeah, the person in a broom closet don't need to be in the broom closet.
I am salty.
Okay, we accept it.
You're gonna be
Salty
okay, though.
peanuts. I'm salty pretzels.
Now what the
Peanut
hell is
skin
this? Now see,
pretzels.
I'm
Y'all
gonna be
remember this one?
cursing.
These
I'm gonna
pretzels
be
are
on here
making me
cursing about
thirsty.
this. Nick turns on the charm. Nick better turn his charm on somebody who is not Sally Spectre, because if I see him sniffing around Adam Woman, I'ma be mad.
You know he is. Because now they finna start
No,
abusing Sally now. So that's what they
no.
do on Young and the Restless. They finna start abusing Sally and passing her around.
Well, no, she's still in love with Adam, and Adam's still in love with her. So I'm gonna see how it play out, but I have no interest in Sally dating Nick because Nick dates everybody.
Yeah.
There are very few women on Young and the Restless that he ain't hit it with.
Girl, child, these people on this thing, the hearing people back on, they talking about all the people hiding on the floor with none of the seats, talking about how scared they were.
Yeah, they were showing that picture. That bitch
Josh Hurley was running. And somebody said, "Can y'all make a GIF out of that so we can post it on Twitter?" Please do. He was running for his life. But sir, you still want to object.
But you know,
Yeah, I sure hated that I don't get back that.
this is the revolution we've been wanting for our side. People overthrowing the government, but we didn't want it like this. Why is he got a Starfleet flag? That's the symbol. Oh, that's right, because Space Fleet.
That's that Space Force shit.
Yeah, Space Force took Star Trek's symbols and used them. And this is a fucking legitimate branch of the armed forces, y'all.
Gene Roddenberry's estate should have sued.
No, ma'am. Do you know there's a Space Force with Steve Carell on Netflix?
Yeah, there is.
That show right there, they should sue him because the uniforms, y'all, the uniforms look like they took it from the damn show. I don't know why they let that man create another branch of the armed forces. No other president has ever done that since the last branch of the armed forces, I think, was the Coast Guard. Sir, we didn't need nobody protecting space because we don't live out.
We just barely getting pictures of damn space. What the hell? We need a force to protect, girl.
See, what he said was instead of fighting wars on Earth, we could fight wars out in space, and that would save the people from having all of this damage when they fought wars because everything would be in outer space. you wouldn't
I'm
have to worry
sorry.
about collateral damage, and you wouldn't have to worry about civilians and innocent people getting killed because you would just fight the wars in space. So we
So
have
what's
to
the
have,
okay?
Girl.
I'm about to lose my mind because I don't have a lot of
About what?
patience for stupidity.
For
So
what?
is this somebody intelligent was coming up with this plan?
girl, that was your president, and that
No, that was that orange
My president who?
monstrosity. That orange monstrosity.
the
Oh,
orange.
that ain't never been my president.
I just
That
he's
was
the orange monstrosity.
that was his rationalization
And
for
they and
creating.
they and they said
Exactly.
when he got back to the White House,
So he just
he
don't even
sat there in the
understand he don't
dining.
even understand war. He don't even understand why people go to war and drop bombs on certain
He don't
locations
understand
in the
nothing.
city.
Well, here's the
Okay.
hilarious part. The part that where he actually thinks that whatever is out there beyond our borders is gonna let us be having wars out in their backyard. They're gonna be like, look, we don't care about that little reality show you got on that
You know,
little
it's
third
like he
on
want to
that
play
third
toy soldiers in space.
on
Like
that third one
playing
from the
toy
sun.
soldiers on in space, just floating around out there in space playing toy soldiers. Who
But
can
that's
blow
never
up the
going to
most?
happen because you have to train them to be astronauts first.
But
So
that's what I mean. It's the whole thing is just is silly. I just can't. The whole thing is ridiculous. They up there
exactly,
in
that was
space
the
shooting
whole
each
point
other.
at the beginning.
Astronauts shooting each other. I can't.
So, and that was the whole point is that you're really, so, sir, you can't just send anybody into outer space. They have to be trained. And you talking about going to outer space to fight wars. You need to sit down and talk to the astronauts who've gone and they're just out there doing science shit and come back. Their entire physical makeup is different.
Correct.
There's a twins. They are identical twins, two men. I think they are both astronauts, but one went to outer space and the other one didn't. And so they wanted to see, because identical twins are so close, they wanted to see the effects that outer space had. And this was the perfect test subject because you basically have two samples that are, for all intents and purposes, are identical. And one went to outer space and the other one didn't. Honey, the man that went to outer space, he'll never be the same again. They were talking about how the mass of his body changed, sleep habits, everything about his entire essence, down to the mitochondria in his cells, were affected by him spending so much time in outer space. So, and that's just him sitting at the International Space Station doing science shit. He ain't breaking no sweats. He just, floating around doing calculations and observations.
Being a
Easy
damn
shit.
nerd, floating around, being a
Right.
damn nerd in space.
And they were saying how even the weightlessness has negative effects on the body long term. So
Like on the muscles.
right, his muscles were
Because
atrophying.
basically the body is built to adapt. So the things that we don't need in space long term, and that's how animals adapt. Like muscles, they floating around, they don't need muscles.
Right.
They lose a lot of muscle mass.
And that's what happened. That's exactly what
and
happened.
they have to kind of rehab.
Mm-hmm. And they were saying that a lot of his muscles had atrophied. So
Correct.
you're not gonna send one soldier to space to fight, much less an entire battalion of people, because they're only going to be good for a short amount of time. You're not gonna have no years long wars because your astronauts aren't going to be able to sustain that type of war. You're not going to be able to deploy people out to the middle of the asteroid belt and think they're going to be able to be there and come back and be okay. They're not. And so you don't have unlike with fighting on the ground, you're not going to have this continuous, endless supply of bodies. We know that people sign up when they're 18 to go and give their life to this country to fight. Young men have to sign up for selective service when they turn 18. Just in case we need a draft later on, they won't take. So we have an endless supply of inventory to fight wars on the ground. You do not have an endless supply of inventory to fight wars in space. Do you know it takes years to train somebody as an astronaut? His ass probably watched Armageddon with what that boy named Ben Affleck and what Bruce Willis, and thought,
Hmm.
oh, well, they trained them to be astronauts to go drill out in space over the course of a couple of weeks. So I'm pretty sure that we can raise an army that we can, train to be astronauts and fight wars within the. No, sir, it takes years to get those people training to get used to G-force and all that shit. This is not a course. This ain't an online learning to be an astronaut thing. These people got to be better than the best.
Yeah.
And they got an expiration date.
Mm-mm. No, it's idiocy, pure, complete idiocy, and a prolific waste of money.
They can reuse these ground soldiers because these people fighting on the ground, they'll keep fighting and become career soldiers, and you can use them over and 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 over again. They can join the army when they 18 and they retire when they 65. That's 50-some years that they done spent on the ground fighting. You're not gonna get 50 years out of a space soldier. You're gonna get maybe 5 years. If you're lucky, you're gonna get 5 years out of a space soldier, and then he's done. He's not even gonna be able to fight on the ground no more. He's done. That's a wash. So it's a big waste of money, resources, people, everything. But they let him have that shit, and they running around here looking like they getting ready for John Luke, or Captain Cisco to come get them, and it's not gonna happen. Can you imagine going to sign up to be in the military and telling people I'm going to be with the space team?
No, I can't.
Your ass ain't going nowhere. You could have went to Camp Lejeune and did the same damn thing because they ain't doing nothing.
Ridiculousness. But this is what happens when you put somebody who is not only unqualified, but just not connected to reality in that kind of a seat. Mercy help us.
In 4 years, we lost 50 to 60 years of advancements from that 1 4 year. I almost said prison term. That's really what it felt like. But this 1 4 year presidential term,
You mean doomsday term?
Back 50 to 60 years. And now they're celebrating because they've codified same-sex marriage. And I'm like, what the fuck that means? Women can't get an abortion. That was codified. They told us Roe versus Wade was codified. They told us that. They testified it was codified and they weren't going to touch it. And they touched it and it ain't. So don't be getting all excited because they telling you they going to codify same-sex marriage.
Right. I'm just jaded at this point. I don't trust any of them for any reason at any time. That's just where I'm at.
They're
It's
giving
the rules until they decide they don't want to be the rules anymore.
They already said when they send the bill down, they already said they're gonna need like 5 Republicans to sign on to the bill even before the bill even pass. That bill is not gonna pass.
It did.
Nothing gonna pass.
Well,
it passed the House. It passed the House.
It'll pass the House, but it's not gonna pass the Senate.
But let me tell you why it's gonna pass the Senate. They needed to pass the Senate because
to prove that the Republicans don't hate gays.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
They needed to pass as a law. They're setting up dominoes. If y'all don't see them setting up dominoes, this is a little domino that they can go after. We're gonna set it up and knock it over because they're going for the bigger fish. They're going for First Amendment stuff. They're going for Second Amendment stuff. And believe it if you want to or not, but they're going for 13th Amendment too. They've already changed the language. They have a new word for slavery that they're using. And I got to find it. It starts with a C. They already have new language. And this term that they're using is they want to take people who are not working and force them to work in these low-paying positions that are being unfilled. So if you got a McDonald's somewhere that's struggling because they don't have enough workers, then they're going to take these people and make them work at this McDonald's, and you don't have a choice. You have to do it. That sounds like slavery to me, but as with extra steps. That is slavery with extra steps. So you got to be able to knock down little pens before you can go for big pens. They're gonna codify same-sex marriage just like they codified Roe versus Wade. And they're gonna let these people sit here in their comfort. They're gonna celebrate with the pride flags and the rainbows, all of that. I don't know how they've lulled them into this false sense of security, but I didn't trust the shit when they said it. So they're gonna set this pen up in about 5 to 6 years, maybe 10. They're gonna knock it down because this is a practice round. We got to be able to know that we can knock these laws down so that when we go for the ones that we want, we know how the system works. We know how to get around it. We know how to get to it. And we have a stacked Supreme Court. So they really ain't got to work that hard for it.
No, they don't, because like I said, the Supreme Court is corrupt. When they got those three Trump judges in there, we knew it was a wrap right then. It was already corrupt. They
Mm-hmm.
should have expanded the court immediately to drown out the sickos. And they should have it well, but can't do nothing because you've got Cinema and Mansion in there that don't let nothing go through. They're part of the plan. They were planted in there by the Republicans, if you ask me.
Him and Cinema ain't no Democrat. They both Republicans.
The problem is that they do expanding the courts is a way to dilute the effect because, well, one, if you can't tee up cases guaranteed to people bought and paid for justices, that would be actually a great thing.
Correct.
Except there is a problem. Because, well, basically, the reason the court can be expanded is because the number of justices we have, that's not stipulated in the Constitution or anything. They've changed it before and they can change it again. The problem is that they actually need majority agreement to get that done.
And they
So,
ain't.
and they
The
ain't never gonna
Democrats
have
said
that.
they want to do it, but Manchin over here
Decent
talk about
lawyers.
something we don't need to pack the court.
Let me tell you
Well, yeah,
something.
because he's part of the problem. He's got it exactly the way he wants it. You know what? This is getting depressing for me. I'm gonna put it on mute.
I don't blame you. Excuse me. But yeah, but that's the problem is that even if they were able to get rid of Mansion and Cinema, which frankly is something that I wish would happen, but that's gonna be up to the people in those states. They're the ones who gonna have to get rid of them. It's not like anybody
Manchin
else
needs
is
to
gonna
go.
have to.
He ain't
But
doing
that
nothing anyway.
he does need to go. But the problem is the people of West Virginia apparently seem to love his ass. And as much as aggravating as his presence is, as much as the rest of the country may despise him, if the locality that he's representing loves him, then he really isn't going to go anywhere. We don't have any term limits or anything like that to make something like that happen where he would just be kicked out by default after having served, say, maybe 40 years of service. Well, unfortunately, there's literally no way to get rid of him other than him kicking over from natural causes or his own constituents actually deciding that they don't want him.
Because now he just booted Joe Biden's energy plan. Like, dude, go sit down somewhere. Go retire.
He don't want to retire. He getting paid too much to. He getting paid too much by special energy, by coal, by everything else. He doesn't just. It's not just that he doesn't support democracy. He doesn't support climate change legislation. He doesn't support. There's a whole laundry list that bastard don't support. And and he's going. And also he's an emphatic liar. He keeps saying, "Well, no, I really said this and I said that." No, he just moves the goalposts. Actually, he just takes the goalposts completely off of the field and just say, "Nah, I'm not for it." Which in my world is why he would not have any committee assignments. If they're stuck with him in the Senate, he would not be having any committee assignments. He would be sitting up there twiddling his thumbs and wasting his time for 6 years at a time. Because his ass don't need no committee assignments if that's how he gonna be. But that's a little bit too much like hardball, so of course that's not gonna happen. I mean, shit.
How
But
can you sit? How can you sit in a negotiating meeting? Say you want this, this, and this, but then go back to your word. Somebody slap
Mitch
him.
McConnell does it all the time. Mitch McConnell's raggedy, trifling, racist, I'm going to destroy this country as much as I can, does that all the time. So, yeah, trust me, it gets done. But the problem is they keep trying to actually work with him in hopes that he'll support something that they want. But that's not what he's there for. He's actually there to just to, I guess, honestly, I feel like he's being paid just to make sure nothing gets done, because that is the worst thing that you can do in the circumstance that the Democrats have right now, is get nothing done, because all it does is it completely debilitates your side and any people who would support you, because they don't feel they have a reason to support you.
Then the
That's why
majority
they
leader
do
down
half the
there,
stuff they do.
you got the majority leader down there not putting a hole in his head.
Mm-mm. I mean, but that's part of the problem. A senator, and I really do feel, I really wish they did have term limits for senators, because they really, really need them. 6 years is a long time, and yeah, some of these people, they don't. Actually, a whole lot of these people don't need to be up there no more, because they're from a whole different mind frame of the majority of the people who are left in this country who are voting, and they play by a set of rules that don't make no sense no more.
Everybody over the age of 55 needs to go home. All of them.
I don't disagree with that. I
Everybody
really don't.
over the age of 55 needs to go home.
Oh, it's a
And
whole
then
list of
they
them.
need to concentrate on electing younger people who have open minds about the world. You have these people who are closed minded. They have they're going off a belief system that not everybody believes in. A lot of them are racist. Even if they've never said anything, they kept their mouths shut because they know some of them knew better than to open their mouths, even when Trump gave them the permission to do so. A lot of them were raised right and they knew to just keep that shit in and they didn't say anything. And them really the people you have to worry about is the ones that don't present themselves. The ones that don't out themselves is the ones that you got to worry about. And there's a lot of them that are sitting up in there that'll smile and you think that's your friend, but don't nobody know how they vote. That's all private, and they voting against you when they get behind the curtain. We need young people with fresh ideas. We need people who are not bound to antiquated belief systems. We need an entire, actually, everybody needs to go, if I'm going to be real honest about it. Every single person up there needs to go. We need to replace everybody from top to bottom, but it's not going to happen. The machine has been chugging along for 200 years, and it is what it is. We're not going to see anything different ever unless somebody get out here like these people we watching on January 6th did and decide they want to overthrow their government. They came like the French do. And I'm going to tell you, no cap, I always applaud the French because them people got balls. Their country takes care of them because their
They still
government
do,
is
and they
afraid of their people.
and they still like that to this very day. We're not just talking about the people who was dragging the Bourbons to the guillotine. The French citizenry are still like that to this day.
Yeah, but that's what I'm referencing. They right now, the French people are not here about no bullshit. The French people fought for their work rights. You call your employee on the weekend if you want to. You gonna get fined because you're not allowed to bother them while they are off. The French people said we not Americans. Well, I'm not gonna be sitting here working on my damn off day. You better call your mama. Um, a couple of years ago, I will never forget. They brought the guillotine out for the president that they got over there now, that Marcon man.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. You can be their friend, but the French people are about the French people. They said, "Fuck your government." Do you know we didn't cut our people's heads off? That's why the French government knows that the French people don't fuck around. They had to cut off with a few heads. And when they got through cutting off heads, they said, "Now who want to be next up here fucking around with us?" And the government said, "Well, I guess we got to listen to y'all because we see now you've killed the king and the queen. You mean business. So we gonna listen to y'all now." And the French people been getting what they want ever since. If these people on January 6th had been successful in killing the people that they wanted to kill, That would have been the new American Revolution right there. We would have watched an extreme change of power, and those people would have been back in control. And if you don't believe it, go rewatch these videos of these trials again, because them people, the defectors that trying to save their ass now, they have told us several times that this thing could have been so much worse than what it was, but this was what? A practice round.
I'm so glad you said that, because I've said that too with my political friends. Like at this time, it was like you just said, a practice run, because they wanted to. They didn't even think they were going to be able to get in the White House as far as they did. But my thing is this: it shook them to the point to where they see now that they can do it. Oh yeah, it's gonna be done again.
Right.
These people out here trying to take the shit back to the 1700s, where everybody was their own militia. Everybody was sitting up here doing for themselves. Everybody was their own government. You couldn't tell them to do shit. That's what they trying to do, in my opinion.
And I think that they'll get there because the Republicans are the only ones that are willing to put action behind words. They don't give a fuck. Them people, when they went there, they said they went there ready to die for what they believed in. When you have people who are ready to die for what they believe in, you're not going. You might well leave that alone, because they don't care no more. They gonna give their life for the cause that they believe in. And if these people believe in this cause of propping up Donald Trump, they're gonna give their life for it. Them people was hanging out of trees with guns, knowing that the
Okay, they had muskrats, all kind of things. Muskets, they had everything. Machetes, they had tomahawks. They was ready to kill some folks.
right,
They didn't come there to be peaceful about a damn thing.
right. They did not, and they knew they didn't. And they said that they didn't come in peace. They said they came to take their shit back. Give us Mike Pence. Kill Mike Pence. Kill Mike Pence. That's
Yep.
what they went there for. And they would have killed Mike Pence if his ass had gotten that limousine.
Yep. They was like, give us liberty or give us death. They was
They
standing
already said, they said the day before this all happened, they said Nancy Pelosi called for the Capitol to be closed in. And the only one person that got that in charge is Trump. And he didn't want to answer the call. I
These
wonder
people
why.
knew what the deal was when the deal came. They knew what the deal was. They knew. So a lot of these Democrats that's poo-pooing and crying and all that shit, y'all knew what the deal was. You know what the deal was. Y'all know, y'all are fucking career politicians. Y'all know how to effectively get rid of this man if you want to. But see, Trump served both sides, and a lot of people don't see that. He served both sides. If they wanted that man out for real, they could have got him out.
Yes, he did. Yes,
They
he
could have
did.
demanded his administration to use the 25th Amendment on him, which they was demanding, but they said no. Because Mike Pence didn't want to take over the last couple of months. He wanted
They
to go
could have
high.
gotten rid of that man. Mike Pence wasn't gonna vote for it because you don't vote against the home team. And he already knew. They probably had already told Mike, you do this shit if you want, you're gonna fuck around and find yourself in a graveyard. And so that's why Mike Pence knew that he wouldn't. I mean, I'm gonna still do my job, and I'm not gonna help y'all steal an election, but I'm also not gonna get in this limousine that you sent for me.
And they talk about Mike Pence was down there. He was down there making calls.
Mike
He was the
Pence
second
knew
in command.
was going to come for him. He did not want to take up that mantle because he knew that if he did, that they already called him a traitor. So he already knew that if they removed Trump and installed him, he was gonna get assassinated. Because how are you gonna be that kind of traitor, Mike? You really let them people get rid of our dear leader and you took his spot? You didn't fight for the president, Mike? He knew that if he did not, that he was going to be assassinated. You can't change my mind. You can't change my mind. Mike Pence knows them people is crazy, just like all these people that's testifying. They just saying it in a nice way. Yes, we knew the president was batshit crazy when he was saying all this. We told them it was batshit crazy. Everybody knew. Wasn't a secret. We've known Trump was crazy forever.
They knew him crazy. The day that he actually got in the office, his speech was crazy.
Yeah, and these Democrats know. These Democrats know. These Democrats know. They know how to get, just like when Al Gore lost the presidency way back when. Sir, your father was a career senator. You grew up around these people. You grew up in this machine. You know how it works. You know where the bells and the whistles are. You sitting here going back and forth and with this whole, I concede, I changed my mind, I don't concede, I concede, but I want to count. I don't know. What is this? We got hanging chance. Sir, you knew how to play the game before they even put you on the field. You wasted a lot of people's time. And it's because these little pretend fights that they have serve both sides. Somebody on both sides is getting some out of it. Don't ever not believe that for a second. Because if you want somebody gone, you're going to get rid of them. The only way that you're not going to get rid of them is if you feel like you can still get a little bit something out of them, or if you feel like they have completely taken over your life or something, or they have control over your life. But they could have got rid of him. They could have got rid of him, and he got damn impeached twice. Come on. They could have got rid of him, but it is what it is. And with that, it's 9 o'clock. So we're going to go ahead and shut it down. I'm going to try to catch the end of this because I'm really fascinated by the goings-ons of this hearing.
I'm gonna work with you on that one. So yeah, I want to go see because I know I done missed stuff being in here and paying attention to it on my television. But I will definitely be back here tomorrow because it looks like the show's getting good.
Yes, honey. We're gonna have fans' hands around Sheila's throat before the weekend. Well, tomorrow is Friday. Y'all, I'm still stuck on it being Tuesday or Wednesday. Tomorrow is Friday, so we might have Finn with his hand on Sheila's throat and her trying to get some help from Deacon. I don't know, but I'm excited to see where it's going from here. We got to pick up with Bill and Lee. So yes, it's popping now. Bold is popping.
Right.
They're doing it.
All right, y'all have a good night. Night SB Right Out on YouTube.
Good night, SB Rider, and everybody who joined us on YouTube. I think it was just her tonight, or them.
I think so.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to misgender folks.
No, I think it was just her.
Okay. And then everybody else over here with us in the yard. Thank you guys for sticking with us so long. And again, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Night.
Good night.